Hi friends, and welcome. As you can see, no doubt, there's a little bit of crisp in the air. You can see my breath is starting to turn cool here on our bend in the river. But today's show, well, let's just say it's a few degrees warmer. You see, we're headed west. We're going out to Saratoga, Wyoming for an early season black powder hunt for the American Speedster, the American Antelope, the High Plains Drifter, as I like to call him. Now, by we, I mean my lovely bride, Tina, and myself. And the reason I say we're going back out west is you frequent flyers may recall a year ago, Tina drew a black powder rifle tag for these Amarygota speedolattas. Yeah, that's kind of Latin for really fast critter. And we hunted and hunted hard, but we had, let's just say, mixed results. We were right in the middle of another stalk, and this time we were certainly close enough. There was a dandy buck out with a band of does and fawns. They were starting to move off, but he was still standing there looking back. He wasn't sure. Now all we needed was to get on him, and Tina was going to get her goat.
Can you shoot him? Yep, safety off.
We had him. He was right there.
Can you hit him? He's got to be on this side of the fence.
I'm trying to get on him.
Too late. He's gone. Whew. We were close. Oh well. That was really close.
Yes, we had been really close more than once. But in the end, Tina rode home goatless. And I have to tell you, she's been chewing on that tag soup for almost a year. So when the chance came up for her to apply again to have a do-over, if you will, well, let's just say it really didn't take her very long to put that front stuffer in the truck. We were headed back to Saratoga, and she was on a mission. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're going out on an antelope hunt right now. As the light gathered that first morning, all we saw was the smoky haze from the forest fires up in Montana. That is until Tina noticed a couple of antelope way down in the valley. One buck standing down by a dried water hole, another walking across a ranch road. There were antelope here, but they weren't anywhere near close enough for a shot with Tina's black powder gun. We laid there as the sun started to rise through the smoke. We were gonna get up and move, but I decided to peek over the hill just in case, and there was a dandy buck laying on the far hillside, and he wasn't alone. There was a number of does and fawns in the draw between us. There wasn't enough cover had we wanted to stalk, but even if we'd tried, there was at least 5 or 6 does and fawns halfway between Tina and the buck. We just have to lay there and let them make the first move. We laid there for what seemed like an eternity, and I thought it's kind of strange. Antelope generally get up right at first light, begin to move off, feed, and then go to water. But for whatever reason, this goat was being just like my grandkids. He was kind of a late riser in no big hurry to get up and face the day. And then finally he got up and started to stretch. The does and fawns were already working slowly in our direction, and if he followed, and I was pretty sure he would, they might pass just close enough for Tina to get a shot. All we needed to do now was keep from getting caught.
He's standing there perfectly broadside. He's just about 50 yards too far away.
These are the best eyes in all of North America. They did look our way once or twice, but then continued on around the little knob on the hill. If they stayed on that course, they'd come right out in front of Tina at less than 75, 80 yards.
Actually, he's even closer. Just be still. He's going to walk out there for you. Take your safety off. You see him there?
He's behind a bush.
From my knees, I could plainly see the antelope right out in front of Tina, but she couldn't. There was just enough little scrub where she was laying. She couldn't see the antelope, and when he moved to where she could see him, all she could see was his head.
Yeah, kind of.
That's him looking right at you. Okay. If he gets where those does are, we got a shot.
He finally walked out into the open, but he kept walking. I whistled. I stopped him, but a bunch of does stopped right behind him. Tina needed an open shot. He was right there, but those does needed to get out, and they were finally moving.
He's got those behind him.
Never mind. Put it back on safe.
It was just one of those things. It just wasn't meant to be. We were hunting the very same public ground, and unfortunately, at least so far, we were having the very same results. Yeah, close, but not close enough, long enough for Tina to have a quality shot. Now, if you know her, you know she's had some great success with that black powder gun, and it's due in part to the fact that she's really selective, really picky about her shots. On the upside, we were antelope hunting. That meant we could hunt all day long, and if you pay attention out there, you're really never very far away from another chance. A little later that morning, we stalked up to within 150 yards or so of this bachelor group that had one decent buck in it.
That's that wide bucky that Pat was talking about.
Which one?
Second to the end. Second to the right. He just stand there looking at you. Yeah, I think he is.
He was nice and wide, fairly heavy, definitely a shooter. Unfortunately, we needed to get just a little bit closer. And when Tina took her gun down so we could move, they saw us. She threw it back up, but it was too late. They were already moving off. All we could do now was watch and see what they settled down. Maybe we could get back on them.
Pushed him over there, and that other group came over here.
I was hoping they'd walk down here and go that way.
Those are all bucks, young and old. One really nice one, second to the left.
They walked up onto a small rise and then stopped and stood looking back. They'd seen us, but we hadn't spooked them, at least not bad. They were just staying out there about 150, 200 yards. It's like they knew just about how far Tina could shoot that front stuffer, and they were staying just outside of that area of danger.
No, both the good ones are in the middle now. Actually, one's out front.
This is antelope hunting.
There he goes.
Even with a black powder rifle, close sometimes just ain't close enough. This was really starting to feel like last year all over again. We were making good stalks, we were seeing plenty of great critters, but somehow the antelope seemed to know what Tina's effective range was with that black powder gun, and they were staying just outside of it. That's the way open land hunting is. It's tough, and the only thing you can do is just keep on trying. And 3 hours later, we were trying our level best not to get caught on a stalk. There was a nice buck just over the roll of a hill. He had at least a few does and fawns with him. We couldn't see them all, but we knew this was definitely a shooter.
Here comes the big one, right next to him is him.
Now all Tina needed was for something to break her way.
We need him to walk up that hill.
She needed this big boy to get into the open, somewhere she could get lined up on him.
Just practice on that one to his left. Get steady. Right in the middle, just above the white spot. You know where the white line is. Put it right on his shoulder. He's got to come up a little higher. Yeah. sideways like that one to his left. Okay, here he comes. Wait for him to get sideways if you can. He's coming up behind that doe. Can you put it on his shoulder?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Kill him. Wait, that doe's gonna step in front. Just let your breath out. Wait for her to move. He may turn sideways for you yet. She's getting more and more in the way. But he'll turn. Just relax. They're all coming toward us.
We were in the moment. This buck wasn't 75 yards away, and he was a dandy. Now all we needed was for this doe to get out of the road. She was literally right in between Tina and the buck,
Come on, girl, move.
and she obviously knew something was there. She couldn't really tell what we were. She wasn't spooking. And then he turned and started going the other way. The doe was still there. She was staring at us at less than 50 yards, but the buck started walking up the hill. We froze, just waiting to see what they would do next.
Coming and he left.
Hopefully he'd come back for her. She gave us the once over twice.
Watch up on the hill, see if you see him stick his head up. Yep, he's up there. I see horn.
And then she trotted up the hill.
He's down by the bottom, walking up now. He's facing onto you right now.
I don't see him.
In the middle. Broadside. Can you pick him out of there? Don't move. Just be ready to shoot. Just be ready. Can you get on him?
Yeah, on him. He's got
Okay, just
behind him.
take your safety off.
I'm shaking like crazy.
All right, settle down. He ain't going nowhere. There he is. If you can shoot him in the front shoulder, shoot him. Wait. Okay, if you can shoot him and you're sure. Wait. All right. Take your time. Oh, he's gone.
We had been right there again, only to see it slip away like a mirage in the desert. That buck had been right there, but Tina just wasn't comfortable with the shot. She did the right thing. If you're not ready, you're not sure, well then you don't have the shot and you just need to wait. Another long, hot stalk, another missed opportunity. Even when we got close enough, hunting a herd animal can have its own challenges, as you saw. We just couldn't seem to get it done. And I could tell by looking at Tina, even though she didn't say anything, her hopes were starting to drift away like the heat waves over the prairie. I knew we needed to try something different. So for our last day, we went out to a privately owned hay and wheat field we had access to. Now you frequent flyers may recall we tried to hunt there last year. Unfortunately, there's no place to hide. There were a lot of goats out there too, but everything is cut. It's like trying to sneak across your front yard. So this time, I decided we'd put out a pop-up blind set by a fence crossing. Maybe with a little bit of luck and all the chasing around they were doing, some of those goats would actually come to us. And late that next morning,
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah, the whole bunch.
we could see dozens of antelope all mixed together. The bucks were obviously trying to split up their harems. Several bunches had gotten mixed up when they were out haying the other side of this big field. We'd seen some machinery earlier, and now the bucks were trying to split them back out. They were chasing all over the place.
They're running.
Yeah, they're trying to split up the does. Their harems are all mixed up.
another bunch.
Oh yeah. There's an awful bunch of them. Some good bucks in there. There's a nice one. Get your gun up. They're coming this way. Some of them. Go ahead, put your gun up. Just get ready. Just take your time.
Couple of nice bucks front left. And one nice one in the middle too. See those two big front ones?
Which one?
There's a couple of good ones there. That one right there by the tall, skinny one. He's the biggest of them. He's got the most mass. Anyway, that's the oldest buck. Just try to keep your eye on that group. I know there's a bunch of them. A large group of antelope, including a couple of good bucks and one real smoker, had made the turn and were now working their way up the field toward Tina. If they kept coming, just let them come. Let them come. Just get on that biggest one to the right. The group had made it all the way up to the field edge. They were definitely in range, and there were a couple of good bucks and one really nice buck in this bunch. I was trying to help Tina sort them out.
Wait till they split up a little. Anytime.
Not the tall, slender one. Look to the right of it. Look at the real massive one.
There he moved.
The bucks were starting to separate their does again, and it looked like some of them were going to go out of the field. But the buck I was trying to get Tina on was still in the field. In fact, he had turned and he was looking back the other way. Look at the real massive one with the doe by himself to the right.
I want you. That one's facing the other way.
She was going to have to get him lined up. Okay, she's out of the way.
Yeah, just right at the top of his back. And squeeze. Take all your time. He's not going anywhere.
The one looking back at that other buck way out there. That really big one with the doe. Right, yeah.
Right on it. Just down a couple inches, no more.
And now it was on Tina. Take your time. He ain't going nowhere.
Now, nailed him. Beautiful shot.
You nailed him.
He went down.
126 yards with a black powder rifle. What a shot. You the girl.
Hey, he went down.
Yeah, he did like somebody dropped an anvil on him. What do you think?
Wow.
Yes, I think he went down. You did good. Nice shooting. That's an awesome goat. Nice job, I tell you what.
Oh,
What do you think? We went crawling around like bugs out here in the sagebrush. These folks were kind enough to let us hunt this irrigated field, and there was a ton of goats out here. But that absolutely was the best of them. He ain't moving, is he? I can't see him.
no, he's just
He's
there.
down. What do you think? How you feeling?
Oh, he was gorgeous.
He is
Beautiful.
I think you're going to be really, really happy. This is a big, big buck. You are the girl. I am impressed.
Oh,
Mwah. I'm going to fall down. Nice job. You want to go see a goat?
yes.
Yeah?
Mhm.
All right, let's. What do you think, girl?
Great.
That's an awesome, awesome buck. Look at that. I mean, he's got nice ivory tips. I bet that's a 15-inch goat. Look at the mass on that size of the cutters.
Beautiful.
That's the biggest goat you've ever gotten, I think. Yeah, I think there's
so.
going to have to be some shuffling on your wall now. You ready?
Ready.
All right, well, I want you to tell me, Was it worth all that work, that crawling around?
Yeah, it was.
All the cactus and the cow poo?
Oh yeah, my knee still hurts, but yeah.
All right, well, we certainly want to thank Robert and Cindy. You know, this has basically been a do-it-yourself on the public ground. We don't have no guide, unfortunately. You have the world's worst guide, me. But you pulled her together. You definitely saved Mike and I's trip out west. We come home with empty pockets, but you got her done in the 11th hour. And now we're going home with a cooler full of antelope. And I bet your granddaughter is going to be waiting on you at the door.
Oh yeah, she is.
All right. Well, thanks again to Robert and Cindy, and thank you, dear. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. How many grandmas get out and do this? I mean, really, not enough.
No, they don't.
All right. Let's go get her done.
Okay.
That, friends, was an awesome shot. Congratulations, Tina, on a great goat. That's a true trophy, and you stuck it out. You made it pay. I am truly glad we went back for your do-over. Friends, antelope hunting is different. You're up against some of the very best eyes and fastest feet in the whole of the world. But it's doable, with or without a guide. If Tina had a better guide, who knows? And if you go out there, you can do it yourself, or you can have somebody help you. Either way, it's worth the chase. It's worth the opportunity. If you're looking to extend your season or try something a little bit different in a different looking land, give that antelope hunting thing a try. It is absolutely a great time. And hey, I want to thank again Robert and Cindy, certainly Pat Malone, for all your kindness. I want you to know, friends, doing something different, extending your season, hunting all day long instead of an hour or two in the morning and evening, it can be a real challenge, and it can certainly be a whole lot of fun. Hey, I hope we see you out there. I hope you're chasing a goat of your own, and who knows, we might just bump into you, because we'll certainly go back and do it again. And if we do see you out there, friends, well, you know we're going to stop and share a cup and a fire, maybe an antelope hunting story or two. And if we don't see you out there, well, then I promise we'll be right back here so we can share another adventure from my Wilderness Journal.